Hey everybody, welcome back to Concierge Confidential. I'm your host, Brian Ortega, and this week we're going to be talking about 4th of July. So we actually will be talking a little bit more than just 4th of July. This episode's coming out during the week of 4th of July in Las Vegas, but more importantly, it's coming out during one of the hottest times of the year, which is the month of July going into August. So I'm going to talk about the importance of coming to Vegas in summer and knowing the things that you should and shouldn't be doing when you visit the city in the hottest part of the year. So we're going to be talking about where you can watch the fireworks or lack thereof, who's performing, and of course, how to survive the heat in Las Vegas during the month of July. So sit back, relax, and this is the 4th of July episode of Concierge Confidential. Okay, everybody, so let's go ahead and dive into the 4th of July in Las Vegas. So it's kind of hit or miss depending on when you come to Las Vegas and when you're able to watch all the big fireworks go off. I have to say, probably the biggest fireworks show is usually New Year's Eve. That's usually the big fireworks show. We don't really have a lot of fireworks on the Las Vegas Strip. A lot of times if it's not a weekend, they don't really do fireworks on the Las Vegas Strip, which, you know, is sad. But there are fireworks across the entire city. People love launching fireworks in this city, whether they're legal or illegal. It just happens to be what it is. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So let's not beat around the bush. The fireworks are going to be going off on Thursday. That's the 4th of July. And it just depends on where you're going to be seeing them at. So I did pull this up. This is on a couple different websites. But we'll just sort of explain the ones that you can see on the Las Vegas Strip. At the time being, it looks like Caesars Palace is the only place showing fireworks in Las Vegas on July 4th. These are actually really hard to see, to be honest, unless you're sitting right in front of the hotel itself. It's funny because I'm reading this off of a website where it says, well, Caesars is the only place doing fireworks, but fortunately it's centrally located and should be easy to view from up and down Las Vegas Boulevard. That is entirely incorrect, everybody. That is entirely incorrect. I've lived in Las Vegas for, almost 11 years now, maybe 12, and coming up on 12. And the Caesars fireworks are never from the top of the building. The Caesars fireworks tend to shoot from the inside of the building, the middle part of the building. And if you've ever seen Caesars Palace, it's sort of like a big U shape because it actually has a big tower along Flamingo, which is the road that runs it's Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. That's right next to Bellagio. So it blocks that side of the strip. And then if you're on the right side of the strip, it also has the Mirage that sits there. And it's also sort of set back from all the other properties on that other end. So there's also a big giant tower on that end as well because they have four major towers, but three of them are like skyscraper style. So anyways, if you want to watch the Caesars Palace fireworks, you actually have to jump and walk across the Las Vegas Strip. And you want to get to either right in front of Caesars Palace, so right in front of the big giant fountains, the world famous fountains in front of the Hell's Kitchen. Again, don't get these confused with the fountains over at the Bellagio because those are very different. But right in front of Caesars Palace, smack dab in the middle, you can get a very good view of the Caesars Palace fountains. Or if you'd like, you can walk across the street and you can go over to the Flamingo, Link, Harrah's side. And from there, maybe not Harrah's, that's way too far, but in front of the Flamingo or the Link, you should be able to see Caesars Palace unobstructed. And that's where they're going to be shooting the fireworks off. So it looks like they're going to be doing that, I want to say around 9 o'clock. This says the Julius Tower. The Julius Tower is going to be the shorter tower, so just keep that in mind when you're watching the fireworks at Caesars Palace, okay? So, moving on. So also, they're going to be having a Venus night swim from 7 p.m. to midnight. That looks awesome. So if you are 21 and over, that's a cool thing to check out because that's actually inside of Caesars Palace. And I think that might be for guests only. So just be careful of doing that as well. So Moving on, as we sort of talk about the other parts of the strip that you can watch fireworks at, there's a couple of places that tend to do really nice fireworks. So if you go over to the Las Vegas ballpark, they're going to be shooting fireworks off on the 2nd and the 3rd. So that's technically not the 4th of July, but they will be showing fireworks there after the game, usually after the game ends. So keep that in mind. But as we kind of go through here, I'm just sort of rolling through. They are going to be shooting them off at the Red Rock Hotel. So the Red Rock is off the strip, so that's going to be in the Summerlin area. It looks like they're going to be shooting them off their rooftop at 9 o'clock. General admission tickets for their viewing by the pool will be $35, $10 for kids 2 to 11. And, of course, they have a bunch of different things that you can buy inside of that property as well. Very popular for locals. So if you are somebody who really wants to see fireworks, I would recommend driving off of the strip to one of these major hotels. Red Rock Resort is a fantastic option just because it also has a casino on the inside, and they also have downtown Summerlin that you can walk by and sort of enjoy the evening if you'd like. So that's one way of enjoying the fireworks in Summerlin. But let's just say you don't want to go to Summerlin. Let's just say you want to check out the south end of the strip. So from there, you can go to the M Resort. That's sort of my side of town, which that actually is a really, really good option just because if you go there, it's about a 15-minute fireworks show at 9 p.m. You can check it out from the pool deck area. Admission's $30 for adults or $10 for children who are 10 and under. And they also have a cool concert going on at that time. So the reason that we recommend, or I like to recommend these local places, is because they typically have outdoor parking lots where you're actually able to just sort of stand in the parking lot. And you can typically see the fireworks from anywhere in these parking lots. It's very different than the Las Vegas Strip. So especially if you have children, these are very popular options is to go to one of these local places. So M Resort is a really great option. And you can also go over to the Green Valley Ranch property, which that's actually a really, really good choice because you can actually, I don't believe they shoot them off of their top parking garage, but people love to go to the top of that parking garage, so that'll be really, really packed. But other than that, they do have lots of places inside of the district where you can see the fireworks as well as going into the outdoor area of Green Valley Ranch. Other than that, they also have the Durango. The Durango is a new property on the Las Vegas Strip. They did fireworks for their opening ceremonies or their opening night, and they looked fantastic. So that place, I believe, is going to be very, very popular, especially if you're going to be going during this time, obviously. But they do have their Bel Air Backyard, which is a very high-end, cool, hip place to actually watch the fireworks. It's their pool. They do have a DJ, and it looks like the doors open for that around 7 o'clock. But you don't have to go to the Bel Air area. It's just the outdoor space with the pool that's sort of connected to it. So really, really great if you want to see the fireworks over at the Durango. I think that's a really great option if you want to do that. And of course, there's sort of a handful of other places in town that will be showing the fireworks or showing the fireworks over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But that does look like that's going to be at July 3rd, not on the 4th. But everything else that I said looks like it's going to be going off on the 4th. So just keep that in mind as you sort of come to downtown. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you come downtown's always the place to be. So usually downtown, they're going to have sort of a video fireworks show on the, Viva Vision. But if you want to watch real fireworks, you can check that out over at the Plaza. The Plaza is actually going to be the best place to watch any of the fireworks. A lot of people are able to watch them from the street level, right in front of the hotel. They sometimes close it off, especially for when they know they're going to have a fireworks show. They usually have those around 9 o'clock, so just keep that in mind if you're going to be watching the fireworks on Fremont Street. That's the only place shooting off real fireworks on Fremont Street. They're also going to be doing it on the 5th because typically on Fridays, they have been doing their summer fireworks show series where you're able to watch from anywhere in particular. You could watch it from the Plaza pool deck if you'd like, but I think they have a price for that. But they will be doing them on the 5th as well. So just keep that in mind because I think I might be doing that. And not to give away all the secrets, but a really great place to watch them from is the Legacy Club, which is right on top of the Circa Hotel, which basically you're at eye level with when the fireworks are going off. So it'll be quite fun. Okay, Ray, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that are going to be going on during that time. So we do have a couple big acts in town, so just know that they're going to be having Garth Brooks over at Caesar's Palace for the 5th, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th. So 3 shows. They're also going to have Lady Gaga over at the Park MGM, July 3rd, 5th, and 6th. You should be able to still maybe get tickets for Lady Gaga. Garth Brooks, a little bit tougher. It's just because Lady Gaga's been here for so long. Typically, the longer a residency show is here, it's typically a little bit easier to get into their shows. So just keep that in mind if you're coming to see any of those performers. Those are the big ones. We have a couple other people in town. We have New Edition. We also have Jodeci. If those of you who like hip hop and R&B, he'll be here as well. And of course, Theo Von is here, the comedian over at Resorts World. He'll be the 5th and the 6th. Don't let that fool you. We still have all of our clubs open, of course. Those are always really big nights. Typically, the weekend will be the more popular one. So, the 5th and the 6th. Maybe the 7th, but that's typically for day clubs. So if you're here for day clubs, it looks like one of the bigger people are going to be Tyga. He'll be here on the 7th. And we also have Alesso, who will be on the 6th over at Tao Beach Club at the Venetian. Waka Flocka is going to be here on the 4th, and then Rick Ross on the 6th over at Dre's. Sort of like rolling through here, we have Zed and Nightmare. They will be here the 6th and the 7th, respectively, at Wet Republic. So, as we sort of run through, by the way, Afrojack, Diplo, Chainsmokers, that's at the Encore Beach Club. That's throughout the weekend. So the 5th is Afrojack, 6th is Diplo, 7th is the Chainsmokers, and that's at Encore Beach. So keep in mind, just sort of locked into those places. The pool is very important. I know it's important for most people, especially when it gets to the summertime. But just remember, if you are coming to Las Vegas, let's sort of jump into the heat part of it. This week is supposed to be extremely hot in Las Vegas. So just kind of looking forward down the list here. So this is going to release on Monday, so we'll look on Tuesday. So Tuesday, it's supposed to be 110. Wednesday, 114. Thursday, 4th of July, will be 114 degrees, and Friday, 115 degrees. So this is my note to you. Stay inside as much as possible. I know a lot of you out there come to Vegas to get a tan. You will get burnt to a crisp out there. It is a nice 8% humidity out in Las Vegas. I'm recording this in the evening, and it's 95 degrees outside. So if you like heat, this is the place to be. But couple things, important things to know if you're coming to Vegas when you're coming with all this heat. Wear comfortable clothing, wear light clothing. If you're able to wear pants that are just a little bit thinner, that helps. Of course, if you wear shorts, it's probably the best. I'm somebody who doesn't really like wearing shorts, so I usually wear very thin pants. Wear nice good walking shoes. Make sure they're not black. For some reason, black shoes tend to make like your feet super hot. Just because we have a lot of concrete, we have a lot of streets in town, so it just gets so hot, unbearably hot in town. I recommend that you don't walk during the hottest times of the day. So typically noon, 1 o'clock, that is the hottest part of the day, where just sort of the sun is beating down on top of you. And you can't really hide from it. You can't get behind a building because the sun will be directly above you in the sky. So it's pretty tough. Same thing about 5 to 7 o'clock. The sun will be setting on the west side of the strip, so it can be extremely hot if you're on the east side, especially elevated places like Beer Park at the Paris Hotel, where you're directly facing the sun. It can be a really, really not fun time to be outside. So try not to eat outside, especially during that time of day, just because it's just not going to be an enjoyable experience. You're going to be toasting, and your food is probably not going to taste very good. It's going to get, hot really quickly if it's like, a salad. And if it's, a hot food, it's just, oh my goodness, it's not going to go down good while you're steaming at 114 degrees. So maybe stay away from like the Lago and the Wolfgang Puck patio areas. But it can get very hot. Make sure you drink lots of water. That's always sort of like a given that we tell people. I know that you came to Vegas to drink, but as we like to tell people, hydrate to dehydrate for later in the day. But try to mix in a water just for like your health's sake. Just because, I mean, I don't do enough water drinking, but I never go outside. But the thing is that when you're here in Las Vegas, it's a very dry heat. So you will sweat for the most part, even if you're not a sweater. And you will lose all of that sort of liquid in your body much, much faster. So you'll perspire and you'll get lightheaded, you'll get headaches, and we don't want that to happen because that's good. That'll happen enough if you drink enough. But that's my biggest thing is just make sure you drink a lot of water and, you know, pace yourself because you don't want to get too drunk at the pool, pass out, and then forget going out in the nighttime. If you do go to the pool, a really big deal is taking a hat. I know you want yourself to be seen, but a hat and sunglasses do so much when you come to Las Vegas just because you have so many reflections off of buildings. I have to say in the future, if you come to Vegas during the summertime, the Aria pool is one of the worst pools to go to. I know it's a very nice property, but the problem is when you go to the Aria pool, the sun will hit off of the building and reflects directly onto the pool, and the pool just doesn't feel cold whatsoever. It's just like sort of like just sitting in a jacuzzi when it's also 110 degrees in the atmosphere. So Aria, not a very fun pool. But the pool is a great option. I actually would say that Caesar's Palace is probably my favorite pool that I've ever been to, just because it's so large, it's sort of sprawling. They have a swim up blackjack dealers, which even if I don't play blackjack there, it's just fun to have the option. They have a lot of different choices in terms of pool areas. They have a giant circular pool, which that's always cool, and they have an adult pool as well. So, and they also have 2 bars, which are really, really great, that are like in cover. So I highly recommend Caesar's Palace's pool if you're able to choose based on what pool you want to go to. I think Caesars has a great pool. Mandalay Bay has a great pool because they have that sort of beach setup, so and wave pool. So I think that's great if you have kids or even if you just want to have that sort of beach feel in the middle of the desert. So let's talk about those mixed drinks. So people love to get the slushy drinks and walk down Fremont or walk down Las Vegas Boulevard. That drink, by the way, is going to be very expensive. That drink's like minimum going to be like $35 to $40. And once you get it all kind of going, it's just going to turn into just a syrupy mess. It's just going to be really sugary. You're not going to get a lot of the good alcohol taste in it. And at some point, it's going to be very, very liquidy. And it's just going to not be a slushy anymore. It's just going to be like a really, really sweet daiquiri, which... they're not good. I actually had to buy one time when I was doing a Barbie, like this Barbie video, and I had to buy one from the outside slushy person, and I took it for picture's sake. So took the pictures. It took me maybe 10 minutes. By the time I took it from outside of the hotel to the inside of the hotel, this was also in July, it was halfway gone. All the cool, nice slushiness had gone away, and you're just stuck with sort of that sort of light-colored, syrupy mess on top of the daiquiri. So those drinks, I would say, are good in small doses. I would say you don't need the yardstick unless you really want to take it home with you, which you can't because then you have to pack it in your luggage, and it doesn't break down. So I would just get the shorter version, just sort of like one of those, like sort of like a tumbler-looking cup, and get it in that size. Because at some point, you're going to dump it out. At least you're not spending extra money for a drink that you're not going to drink at. And the good thing is you can refill them. As long as you have a Fat Tuesdays cup, they will refill at any other Fat Tuesdays on Las Vegas Boulevard. And same thing for downtown. Usually able to refill as long as that property owns that other bar that you're going to. But I would say dress light clothes. That's perfectly fine. A lot of high-end restaurants will allow you to wear shorts, but do not take this as I'm going to go to the Eiffel Tower restaurant and wear shorts because they do not allow that. A lot of places understand it is hot outside. You're not able to go back and change, but just sort of read the room. If they want you to put pants on, just understand that that is their right to ask you to put pants instead of shorts. But typically resort shorts are okay at most establishments, even for dinner. but just note that if it has like a view or if you have to go up in an elevator, any of these things usually means they do not want you wearing shorts. But usually if it's inside of a hotel, there's no view. Let's just say you're inside of Caesar's Palace. Most places at Caesars, even like Peter Luger's, for example, will allow you to sit there. The biggest thing is they want you to have somewhat of a collar if you can, so like just like a nice sort of polo, and you can wear resort shorts, which resort shorts are essentially shorts that have four pockets. They're also kind of known as golf shorts, where they have 2 pockets in the front, 2 pockets in the back, and that is it. No cargo shorts. We don't like cargo shorts here. Nightclubs wear pants. This is not like go-to for, hey, Brian said this. No. If you're going to a club in Las Vegas, I don't care that it's 110 degrees outside. You are required to wear some type of pants. Jeans, slacks, whatever. It has to be pants. It's very, very important. Unless it's noted otherwise. For example, like if you're going to a day club at night for a night swim, where it says swim attire is encouraged. It will say swimwear is okay, which of course that means you can wear a tank top and swim trunks if you want. But if it is a nightclub like XS or Marquee, these places want you wearing pants. That's very, very important. And yes, you will get turned away no matter how hot it is. So that's very, very important. I also recommend that you get yourself a nice like summer drink. Like for example, I really, really enjoy drinking Old Fashions. Old Fashions are not a daytime drink. So before you visit Vegas, have a really good like outdoor like summery drink, just because it'll sort of taste more refreshing. Like I really enjoy drinking mojitos because then I feel like I'm in Miami Vice. But mojitos are a great summer drink because they tend to be a lot lighter, a little bit more refreshing, and it just sort of goes with the vibe of Las Vegas. So this just goes back to being prepared of how you want to drink your drinks. And typically, those drinks, they're very sugary, don't get me wrong, but those drinks for me don't leave me with a stomach ache. They don't leave me with a headache, as beers would do that. So just know that beer can definitely have that effect on you, especially if you're sitting outside in the sun with it beating down on you all day long. And again, take breaks. If you're going to be outside by the pool, go into where there's some shade, go back into the hotel. If you want to get a locker to put your stuff in, that's completely fine. I totally get it. But do take breaks getting out of the sun because it can be quite dangerous being in the sun for way too long. And try to break up your walking. That's really important. If you're going to be walking on the Las Vegas Strip, try to break up the amount of walking that you do. Don't try to walk from, let's just say, New York to Caesar's Palace without going into a hotel. Break it up. Go into a hotel. Play a couple of machines or sit at a bar or just, sit somewhere and just sort of take your time, relieve yourself from being outside in the sun, get a piece of the air conditioning, go outside for your walking, and then go back inside of a hotel. It's part of the exploration process of when you come to Las Vegas and walk. Personally, if it's hot outside, I'm not walking more than one hotel. If I'm at the Bellagio, I can walk to Caesars, I can walk to Cosmo. That is the only options. And I'm not going from one all the way to the other one. So I'm a little bit more particular because, again, why am I walking on the Strip? Because it's very hot. My mom is coming to Las Vegas, and she's planning on walking a pretty large distance, and I'm very nervous about it. So I just want it to be known that I don't condone long walks on the Las Vegas Strip, especially when there's not a lot of hotels in between your choice, your starting point, and then your end point. Just keep that in mind. I'm just very, very nervous. So when you can, take the public transport like the monorail or the trams that go in between Park MGM and the Bellagio, of course. So those couple of hotels. So utilize those public transports because they can be a lifesaver at the end of the day. So again, try to cut down the long, try to cut down on the long walks being outside. Try to be able to break it up and make it part of your day, sort of exploring the hotels. So I've given you guys a lot to think about. I know it's sort of, sometimes scary when you're not used to the weather. But for the most part, as long as you hydrate, have a good time, don't act crazy, don't fall asleep at the pool, I think you'll be completely fine for your next summer trip to Las Vegas. So again, Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoy the 4th of July weekend. We may or may not have an episode on Thursday. Who knows? I'll be back in Arizona. But for all of you listening out there, thank you so much for listening. If you see me out in town, come say hello. And remember, keep it confidential.